Well, good afternoon. My name's Rosemary Vilgan. I'm a director of AXI, and I've been asked to just make some summary remarks on the day. Well, from my perspective, I think it's been a very content-rich day, and if you look at the topics that have to be the most relevant topics in the whole of the industry, workplace health and safety, gender, financial advice we got to as well, director liability, integrated reporting and climate change. What struck me, though, was the themes that came through the day, and I'll go through some of those rather than necessarily session by session. To me, the themes were there's hard skills everybody's got to have, there's soft skills everybody's got to have, and they're very interconnected. So I'll go to the hard skills first, and we probably spend a lot of time on the hard skills, but it did come through a couple of times. Boards like dealing with facts. Okay, and we heard that a couple of times. We heard that during the directors panel. Give us facts. And I think now there is a response to facts coming out. The session that did come home to me in a way was the one about directors' liability. We had a panel here with differing views, and I'm sure we're all listening as essentially custodians of our members' money. We're investors in the companies. But we're also sitting here in many cases as directors yourselves. So as you listen to that debate over director liabilities, are you confident you know where you, as a responsible manager, where you as a director, a trustee director, sit on your own liabilities? So that's one session that to me is worth going into the facts and looking at the hard data and investigating and understanding more. But we certainly heard, to me, an awful lot today about the soft skills. And the word that came through for me was culture. How many times today did we hear about the culture? The culture of the organisation, the culture of the board, the culture of the management, the culture of employees. Culture is key. It came across in the session on mental health. Is the culture sufficient and safe that people can disclose they've got mental health issues? Is the culture accepting of diversity? Gender diversity is incredibly important because it's the most obvious 50% of the population or thereabouts. But there are many other instances of diversity. And in my organisation, I talk about diversity of experiences. Do people have different job backgrounds, gender backgrounds, race backgrounds, sexual orientation, whatever? Do we have diverse experiences coming to the table? And that's totally about how well the culture accepts it. Where I think we haven't got to is how do we measure culture in companies in which we invest? And yes, there may well be employee engagement surveys, but do we know how well our boards, our management exhibit the right cultural behaviours themselves? So whilst we may know that companies have values, do we know how boards essentially live up to the values as a board? Do boards get measured on their commitment and the exercise of their own values? So to me, that soft skill part came through again and again and again throughout the day. The domino of interconnectedness brought these together for me. So certainly in the integrated reporting discussion and in the last discussion on climate change, it's a domino effect. Everything is connected. And I certainly know as we've pushed up solar usage, particularly in Queensland, it's pushing up electricity prices, which is hurting the least well off because they can't afford solar. So this notion of everything being interconnected and we don't exist in silos really has to be thought through. And I think the integrated reporting piece is starting to try and encapsulate that. So to me, today's been about, what we do about essentially not just emotional intelligence, but also intellectual intelligence. And how do we marry the two together? How do we understand that boards, our boards and the boards of the companies we invest in, get their heads around the hard issues and the soft issues and marry them up? So for me today, there's been a lot of food for thought. I think every single session has had an awful lot of merit, but I'll be asking you, if you could, to fill in a survey. So there'll be a survey going out on how you found the sessions today. We've had wonderful speakers and facilitators, and ACSI has chosen to give the Leukemia Foundation a gift to recognise each of the speakers and facilitators today. And as you probably appreciate, the Leukemia Foundation supports people and research in the area of blood cancer. AIST has helped ACSI enormously in organising today, so I'd like to thank AIST and the representatives here today. But also the actual ACSI team have done a fantastic job. As was indicated earlier, Gordon played a big part in pulling the sessions together, as well as some of the board members, and Louise has had to step in. I think she's probably had a running jump at the job for the last week or so. So please fill in the survey. We do take it very seriously and look at the feedback and act on it. And I hope you'll go away today with thinking about those hard skills, the soft skills, and how they interconnect and what we should do about that as long-term owners of capital. There'll be a couple of drinks downstairs till about 6:30, so I hope you join us there. Thank you very much.